Welcome, everybody, and thanks for joining me again today. This is Roaming Prepper Channel. I'm your host, Pete, and I hope you all are having a good day. As you can see, I'm still in a hotel, at least as of the time of this recording, although I might be home by the time you actually see this. I want to talk to you about something that's going on starting in the East Coast this time, and really is not a surprise to anyone. So, what exactly is it? Well, it's, in my opinion, the stupidity of our leaders. I'll be right back. Let's talk about that. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining me. This is the Roaming Prepper Channel. I'm your host, Pete, and today I want to talk about what is going on in the world of medicine, more specifically, outbreaks within the United States. So we have this article here. This is actually from the CDC website. Let's read this. As of April 18th of 2024, a total of 125 measles cases were reported in 18 jurisdictions: Arizona, California, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maryland, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Surprisingly, they do not name Texas in here, which blows my mind. There have been 7 outbreaks defined as 3 or more clustered cases reported in 2024. 69% of cases are outbreak associated. For comparison, 4 outbreaks were reported during 2023. This is obviously a small number, but we're looking at a illness that was clearly taken care of a generation ago. So let's think about this. The measles vaccine, now whether you're pro or anti medicines in general, this particular vaccine, the MMR medicine, has been around for the better part of 60, 70 years. By now, we pretty much have a good idea what it does and doesn't do. But we're having an outbreak of it. This is very common in third world countries, countries where people do not get properly dealt with. Now, I'm not talking about taking an experimental emergency authorization medicine. I'm talking about something that's, like I said, been around for 2 or 3 generations. Now, whether you're pro or against, the fact that we have introduced a very large contingent of individuals, we do not quarantine new arrivals anymore the way we used to. We do not require them to take any medication. They just come in and their kids go to school with your kids, hands down. Now, they require us to take all sorts of things, especially things that are sponsored by a certain company that also sponsored a bunch of really interesting commercials and articles in a Super Bowl. We know who that company is, and I won't say anything more because I have to be careful of how I say things. However, I find it interesting that American citizens and European citizens and Canadian citizens were required to take a medicine that may or may not have been successful, but simultaneously, medicines that have been around for 3 generations are not required of incoming immigrants. And this is what pisses me off. We are introducing a large influx of individuals from countries that have health issues. We are not vetting them. We are not quarantining them in any way, shape, or form. And I'm not talking about an ugly quarantine like a concentration camp. I'm talking about a medical quarantine to ensure that they are not infectious with something that will harm the general public. And we're setting them loose in our country. So aside from possibly having criminals and terrorists, we have introduced illness. Most of the states I've named are states known to have received a very large influx of uh, individuals from countries that were unvetted. And herein lies a problem. We want to enforce laws on people who are obeying laws anyway, but we are not penalizing people who are disobeying the laws in the first place. This sounds absolutely stupid, and to the common sense individual, you wonder what I was talking about. But look at what's going on around you: punching of women in the street in New York, stealing cars, playing the knockout game, wilding, as they call it, attacking malls, attacking stores. And who gets arrested? People get dismissed. It's just youth being youth. Stores are shutting down in certain places because of this very situation. And what's funny is that in In California now, they want to sue companies if they shut down their stores because they're hurting the community. Well, no, what the stores not hurting the community, the politicians are hurting the community by not enforcing quality of life. I digress. Back to the original subject. We are seeing weird outbreaks of measles all across the country. They're still small, and measles, once identified, is very quick and easy to contain for the most part. The problem is the fact that it's showing up at all and it's showing up in so many states at the same time does not lead me to believe that it was some travelers that went on vacation, came back, and infected their kids in their school or their relatives. This is something that's hitting multiple states at once. It's not typically a weaponized disease because measles has been stable for the last 50 to 100 years. No, what this is basically we've introduced a large population of people who have not been properly vetted or quarantined, and we're just throwing them into the community. And then we wonder why there are problems. In the meantime, veterans can't get mental health assistance in a timely manner, and a lot of us can't get a damn dental appointment without a 2 months wait, even if you have insurance. Uh, the stupidity that we're witnessing is terrible. What does this mean for you? You guys know I like to do a little bit of a takeaway with any time that I'm bitching about the universe. Um, well, we can't obviously control the border, although I would encourage you to email, call, and write to your congresspeople and tell them to do their job. What I would do is make sure that you and yours, if you partake of such medical procedures to ensure that your family is protected, at the very least, be aware of who's going to school with your kids and ask your school what their policy is about kids coming from other places that have not been medically qualified so that they don't expose children. I'd also recommend, if possible, make sure you store things like antibiotics, over the counter medications, and other such things. Also, herbal remedies, as well as Western and Eastern medicine, is always good to be familiar with. But again, I'm not a doctor, I'm an engineer. Get familiar, do your own research, but having the proper meds to at least deal with certain types of illness and infection is going to be invaluable. It almost seems like we're regressing into the 1800s by default. That being said, there's no reason we need to panic. What we need to do is make sure that we're aware of what's going on around us, hold our local school districts and our local elected officials accountable for what's going on in our communities. And if you do have neighbors who have recently arrived from another place, um, and they're relatively friendly, educate them as to what they should be doing so that they too can make sure that their kids are aligned with the community as far as safety, as far as crime prevention, as well as the prevention of spreading of diseases. At the end of the day, we can own our communities, we can affect situations locally in a positive way. In any case, folks, just for your awareness, it's on the CDC website. There were quite a bit of states on there, and although the count is still small, because of course they have to blow it up on the media, um, measles is treatable, but it's pretty sucky to get. So try to avoid getting it if you can. You guys be good, be safe. Hopefully, the next live stream I do will be at my own house, or at least in my part of Texas. Till next time, God bless, Godspeed, stay out of trouble, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.